Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us today in this sort of quintessential training on how to earn at DuePoint. It may seem like a complete fundamental, but I think you'd be surprised at how many people join DuePoint and never take those few minutes required to understand and fully learn how DuePoint actually works. And so this evening, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to spend some time working through the fundamental of starting to earn at DuePoint. What we want you to see this evening is details about what the process is that gets you to a point where you can start gathering the things that you've dreamt about from DuePoint. All of you have sat in an introduction presentation, or you've seen at least a 10-minute introduction presentation, and you've seen the things that we have to offer. And so now, today, and during this training session, we want you to learn how you can stick your hands out and take those things that we're offering off the table and make them your own. This training this evening is for you. It's for you as a wealth engineer who's never earned at DuePoint, or it's for you as a wealth engineer who's connected people and started building a channel at DuePoint, but you haven't got your connected wealth engineers in your channel earning yet. I want to teach you this evening how you can start earning and how you can start getting your first pointers and their first pointers earning at DuePoint. Absolutely critical part of this business. It's the core of this business. It's the very reason why we exist here at DuePoint, is to be able to get you these things. All right. So the reason you joined DuePoint was probably for one of our trips, the Rank 9 trip, or one of our checks, the Achievers checks. Unfortunately, not only for you, but for everybody, those things do not change your circumstances. They do not give you a better or brighter future. They do not change your financial capabilities. Those are just cherries on the cake. And it always saddens us that those are the reasons why people join DuePoint. Instead, we want to celebrate the real power of DuePoint, the real objective of DuePoint, the reason we exist here, which is to create for every South African of all walks of life, the ability to earn an income every single month. That's far more powerful than a once-off Achievers check. It is far, far more powerful than a holiday that doesn't pay for your kids' school fees, that doesn't pay your rent, that doesn't put food on your table, but it's gone in the blink of an eye. Permanent, recurring income is the entire reason that DuePoint exists. And we want to make it your primary objective, your primary goal, and your dream and aspiration at DuePoint. If we can get you to earn sufficiently at DuePoint, then we can get you to buy your own holidays, pay your rent, pay your own checks, write your own checks. We can get you to do all of those things if we can get you to create a recurring income. So I'm hoping this evening and through this training, we change your mindset. We change you and move you away from short-term, what we call get-rich-quick kind of stuff, to the long-term, life-changing process and tool and fundamental objective of DuePoint. You all joined DuePoint for the promise of a better life. You wanted an income that's going to pay for your wants and for your needs. And we want to, through that, bring back to you joy and hope. If we look at South Africa today, if we look at the things that are going on out there, ladies and gentlemen, we know for sure that there is no hope and there is no joy in South Africa today. This is something that I just see constantly in the newspaper. When I talk to people on the news, I see a country without hope, without joy. We at DuePoint are able to give you that anchor, that thing that you can tether yourself to and can start bringing light back into your life. If you look at the individuals that have been with DuePoint over the many years that we've been here, you start to see, ladies and gentlemen, on the look on their faces, what it means to have joy and hope again, what it means to be able to dream, what it means to be able to have aspiration again. This is what we do at DuePoint. It is something that is not done anywhere else. As the years have passed, we're celebrating our 10th year now, we're in our 11th year. We have seen things come and go, come and go. And they make similar promises, but they never deliver on them. We at DuePoint have been delivering on these promises for a decade now. We give you, ladies and gentlemen, the proper tool, the one that actually brings the light back into your life. I've called it the goose that lays the golden egg. Rob's put this wonderful image together of the tree that grows gold. We'll call it the money tree. You have this thing when you're at DuePoint that you have nowhere else in the South African economy. Nowhere else. Whether it's in Randburg or Dubai or China or wherever, none of them are able to create for you the money tree that we can. Your commitment into the use of DuePoint's tool will change everything about your future and will bring that light back into your life, that hope back into your mind. Your primary objective, therefore, is to start earning with DuePoint. Our objective at DuePoint is to create a recurring monthly income for you, but your objective, ladies and gentlemen, your objective is to create and start earning right now. The only two activities that you have to do at DuePoint to earn is to connect people to DuePoint and to then get people to do the same thing. If you can't connect someone to DuePoint, then you can't succeed. But everybody can connect people to DuePoint, because for 10 years, that's exactly what people in South Africa have been doing. They have been connecting South Africans to DuePoint. We've got this wonderful 9 steps to success formula that we use. Rob came up with it many years ago, and we've used it over and over. And some people have even recently asked, Brendon, what's the 9 steps to success again? Well, here they are. These are the 9 steps that lead you to great success at DuePoint. But it's those 2 things. Let's go back to it. Those 2 things, connecting and getting other people to connect, which we call duplication, that leads you to the success. We break down the finding of the people, the connecting of the people, and then getting those people to connect people into these 3 sort of channels: prospect, connect, and duplicate. Under prospecting, you've got to find people, tell them about DuePoint, and follow up until they join. Under connecting, you've got to invite them to see the business, show them our introduction presentations, and get them signed up. That's what gets you earning. The duplication, yes, that expands your earnings, but we want to get you started. And all you've got to do is find people and connect them. If you can do those 2 things, we can get you started. We can get you start earning. For those of you who are just wealth engineers and you want to start earning, you need to become a qualified wealth engineer. Only qualified wealth engineers earn. To become a qualified wealth engineer, you have to do one thing only, and that is connect someone successfully to DuePoint. Nothing else matters until you can connect someone to DuePoint. If you can connect one, you can connect 1 million people. We have seen it repeatedly. And we often will find people who will connect 1 or 2 people and they go, oh, but I can't connect like other people that can do 100 in a month. It's not about doing 100 in a month. It's about you getting that one person connected. As you get better at connecting people, you'll ultimately get to 100 in a month. But start where you're at and start connecting people to DuePoint. If you're a lead wealth engineer that has got a team of people, the only way you can get people to stay at DuePoint is to ensure they earn. If your wealth engineers that you've connected are not earning, they're not going to stay. And then you start spinning your wheels. You put 5 people in, 4 people fall off. You put another 4 people, because they're not earning. They haven't connected, they have not become qualified, and they're not earning, so they don't stay. You want people who stay and pay. And if you're going to do that, you've got to get your first pointers, the people you've connected. That's what a first pointer is someone you've connected. You've got to get them earning. When they're earning, they stay and they build your income. The longer an individual stays and pays, the longer they're paying your returns, your rewards, the longer you're earning at DuePoint for. In order to get someone qualified, in order to get somebody connecting South Africans to DuePoint, you have to set the example. It's that simple. We've seen it for a decade. When you are setting the example, those people you've connected to your channel will start duplicating what you're doing. They'll watch you, They'll follow your example. So people often say, but Brendon, how do I get people to duplicate in my channel? Well, you have to do it first. This is a critical concept for you to root into your minds. Until you are doing what you want your channel to do, your channel won't do it. So you must start by demonstrating connection. You need to be connecting people on a regular basis. If you are connecting people to DuePoint on a regular basis and growing your first pointers will start doing the same thing. And so waiting for connections to happen in your channel means that your channel will never grow. You've got to be actively connecting individuals to your channel. What does qualifying mean then? I say you've got to be a qualified wealth engineer. What does that actually mean? Well, to be a qualified wealth engineer means you have to do certain minimum requirements in order to start earning. In your DuePoint app right now, under the tools section, getting started, you will see one of the very first, at least in the top 5 videos, I think it's number 3, it says how to get qualified. The title of the video is Getting Qualified. Have you watched that video? I'm going to guarantee you haven't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you just a 12-second clip out of that video that explains what it means to be qualified. I'm encouraging you, if you're watching this training for the first time, go back to Getting Started and watch Getting Qualified. Watch the full video, not just the 12 seconds I'm going to show you now. Watch the full video and you will understand how you can start earning right now.
Once you have connected 3 such individuals to DuePoint and you've paid for your product and they've paid their payment, you are now a qualified wealth engineer and begin earning with DuePoint.
You heard what was said, ladies and gentlemen. What did it say to you? In order to be qualified, you've got to have paid your product or service in any month, and you need to have connected at least 3 people who have paid for their product or service in the same month that you paid for your product and service. Okay? It's that simple. There's no more complication. There's nothing else that needs to be done. You have to have paid your product and service, and you need to have connected 3 people who have done exactly the same thing. If you do that, then you are a qualified wealth engineer, and that changes everything for you. The moment you're a qualified wealth engineer, everything changes. You start earning, which means that your payment every month is now reduced by how much you're earning, to the point if you've got enough connections, you're getting out more than you're putting in at DuePoint. It means you can now be a qualified wealth engineer for your achievers checks. It means you can rank up. Everything changes for you the moment you get your product or service paid, and you've got 3 people you've connected in your first point that have done the same thing in the same month as you. Now, if you do that every single month, if every single month you make sure that you've paid and that you've got at least 3 people that have paid on your first point, every month you earn. There's nothing complicated about that, ladies and gentlemen. You get to set the example again. How do I get my channel to make their product and service payments? By making my product and service payment. Advertise it when you've done it. When you've done it in your meetings, tell them, today was payday for me. I paid for my product or service. You can say the 31st, the last day of the month, that's the day I pay on. I'll be paying my product and service this month. Advertise that you've done it, because that means you are setting the example for your own people to make their own product payments. If they do that, you get qualified, you start earning, and all of a sudden, you're starting to take the things that DuePoint promised you would have for yourself. So the question then is, well, what is connecting and how does one connect? Oddly enough, it's such a simple concept, I take it for granted. And yet I do have many people who say to me, Brendon, I don't understand. I don't know what connecting people means. Fundamentally, connecting someone to DuePoint is showing them one of our full-length introduction presentations. That's it. Once they've watched that full-length introduction presentation, and as long as they follow what we say in that video, you've connected them to us. But let's break it down a little bit more. We said those 9 steps to success. You'll remember that. Well, the first one is finding people. You've got to find people. I'm going to break it down in a minute for you about what finding people means. Then you've got to tell the people you found about DuePoint. Then you've got to answer their questions, which means you've got to be equipped to do that. We'll look at that too. Then you've got to invite them to watch one of our full-length introduction presentations. It's great that you showed them a short one. It is great, but that's not connecting them. They didn't get anything out of it that helped them really engage with DuePoint. And then you've got to assist them in getting signed up and plugging them into DuePoint. So let's break it down. 5 steps. Let's look at the 5 steps together. Okay? I'm going to quickly take my face out so you can focus on these completely. All right. So finding people. Where do you find them? Well, you're going to start by looking at friends and family. They're often the worst, but they give you good practice. Talk to them about watching an introduction presentation of DuePoints and seeing the full picture. You can then go to acquaintances, people you know but would not be considered your friends, not in your inner circle. Go to them next. Go to colleagues, people that are your, not quite friends, but you've got a relationship with them at work, at sports, at clubs, in your community. Go to your colleagues. And then, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to hit the strangers. Once you've got your confidence up, once you know what you're doing, start walking the streets. I've always said it. You put your shoes on and you get out there. You get into the shopping centers, you get into the suburbs, you get into the rural areas. We've got wealth engineers that have done this for a decade hugely successfully. The more courage you build from the practice you've been doing and the experience you've had from doing it, the more you'll be able to get out deeper and deeper into our country. Then you've got online. Now you've got to be doing both. We've been going on about this for years, but for a long time, people focus only on online because it's easy. You record a video of yourself, you don't have to talk to anyone, you stick it on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, and those that like the video send you a response and you can speak directly to them. That's great. It's the easy way to do it. It really is the easy way to do it. You get all of these leads, all of these people that want to hear more. The problem with all of those people is they haven't engaged. They haven't seen you eye to eye. You're not standing next to them. And so when you send them stuff, a lot less will sign up than those that you get face to face. And so the ideal situation is a hybrid model between face to face and online. What does it mean to have a hybrid model? It means you do both. You allocate your time part for face to face and part to online. You don't want to be in a position where you're only doing face to face. You don't want to be in a position where you're only doing online, because both of those are losing strategies. The winning strategy is to be doing both. In finding people, you use all the tools at your fingertips. Everything on social media. Social media is also great for testimony. You can put your journey up on your social media platforms at DuePoint. As you go rank 1, as you go rank 2, as you recognize, you put in our movers and shakers, as we interview you, all of those things, even as simple as you just start earning, you could put that testimony on your social media platform. It's a wonderful way of generating leads. It's a wonderful way of getting people to you. But you've got to connect with them face to face. You've got to have the hybrid model of doing both when you find people. The second thing is, well, what do you say to these people that you found? Now, this is actually a completely open-ended thing. Every one of you has got your own way of talking to people. I know you do. I have heard the most varied strategies and the most varied scripts with regard to how people connect people to DuePoint. And that's perfect. But the reality at the end of the day is you make it personal. You make it personal. Every South African is suffering from the same thing right now. They have no opportunity, they're destitute, they can't get educated, there are no jobs available, there are no university seats available, there are no schools available. I've heard everything in the last couple of weeks. So talk into the pain of people. DuePoint is here to solve that for absolutely everybody. It's here to solve it for absolutely everyone. So you get out there and you speak from the heart, ladies and gentlemen. Speak from the heart. Talk to people about how you're solving your pain through DuePoint, how you've solved it by earning, how you have dreams and aspirations again because of the returns, the rewards, and the achievers programs of DuePoint, and how that's going to build your dreams and make those dreams a reality. Talk to people about those sorts of things. Genuine conversations from your own heart is how you get people to connect. Remember, you're not selling our products. You're not selling our products. You are simply telling people to watch our introduction presentations on how to create income with us. Okay, answer questions. This is something that you need to become good at over time. You don't have to be Brendon or Rob. Don't try and explain DuePoint. Don't try and explain it. Rather explain how you're using DuePoint, how you're using it to create income for yourself. If you try and explain DuePoint, you're going to get it wrong. That's what Rob and I do. But you do want to be able to answer questions that people have. Most people have got simple questions. Simple questions that you can answer if you've done the work, if you've done the research, if you've done the training, and this will help you smooth the way in connecting people to us. Now, you've always got DuePoint's material to help you. So if people have an objection, we've got all the videos on all the objections. If they don't understand some of the technicalities, refer them to our client service team. Monday to Friday, they can call in and they can ask. Even if they want to know if we are a real company, get them to dial the number. They can look it up online. They can call into our call center. They can go to the FSCA's website and look at our FSP licenses. You've got the resources at your fingertips with DuePoint. Use them. Don't try and do this thing by yourself, because then people will try and do this thing by themselves. They'll never earn. They'll disappear, and you'll be spinning your wheels and you won't be earning. Remember, what's the objective of this training tonight? It's to get you to start earning right now. And in order to do that, you need to connect people properly to DuePoint. That's what connecting people mean, that they have fully engaged and understood what's happening with DuePoint. Okay, step number 4. Now that you've answered questions and you've given them an idea of DuePoint, you've got to invite them to an introduction presentation. This is a step where many wealth engineers fall down on. They've sent them a 10-minute version or a 2-minute version or a testimony of someone, and now they sign them up. And now it's like, well, I've given you everything. No, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone you sign up must watch a full-length introduction presentation at DuePoint, because it's in the full-length introduction that we lead them through the process that gets them connected to us. We do the work of telling them about the returns and the rewards and the achievers. We do the work about telling them this is where you go to find more information. Now you sign up. Now you log in and download our app. This is where you find the training. We lead them through the process in a way that you can't do. Make sure that everybody you connect connects to a full-length introduction presentation. Send them to our recorded stuff by sending them links. Send them to our live presentations every week. We've got one on Tuesdays, and of course we've got our Super Saturday at the end of every month. The Super Saturday is the perfect event to bring people to, new wealth engineers or even guests, because they get to see DuePoint in action at a Super Saturday. Sending them these little itty-bitty videos will never buy into the heart and mind of a new person the vision, the objective, and the wonder of DuePoint's tool. You have to connect them properly, ladies and gentlemen. Step number 5 is now you can sign them up. Now they've got it. They've seen the intro. They've got the vision. They now are dreaming and aspiring. You want to get them earning, which we'll talk to in a minute. But right now, let's get them signed up. You want to get back to them once they've watched an introduction presentation. You want to ask them if they've got any more questions about DuePoint. If they do, you can send them to our website, our social media platforms, our client service. You want to tell them what to expect. Tell them what the application form will look like and ask for FICA documentation, etc. And then you've got to tell them, hey, you need to do some training. You need to get on top of this. And then you need to start connecting people just like I did to you. Make sure they understand this. Make sure they've got the app on the phone. Make sure they've logged into getting started and started watching videos. We can't treat DuePoint like a scheme and a scam, where you're just dumping people in and just, robbing them in the short term, and then everything falls apart and then you move to the next one. Those things create income for no one. Those things create wealth for no one. There's no aspiration, there's no dream, there's no change in their circumstance. They don't get a change of address as a result of that. They don't get to be able to buy vehicles, put their kids in private schools, go on holidays. They don't get any of those when we pump and dump them. When we connect people properly to DuePoint, you put into your channel people that are going to stay. You put people in that can weather ups and downs in the business. They can weather people letting them down and people that are growing them. They can weather all these things because you've connected them properly, and they now have dreams and aspirations, motivation and drive in building their own income and their own future. Those people are the people that make you wealthy. Permanently. Not today, gone tomorrow. Permanently wealthy. Those are the ones you want. So do the work up front. Do the correct work up front. And you'll build a channel that will last your entire lifetime and into the lifetime of your children. The result of connecting people properly is going to be that some people are going to sign up, some people aren't. Doesn't matter. But those that sign up properly are going to build your confidence, your courage, and your earnings. You're going to get better and better at this the more you do it. So remember, I said right at the beginning, set the example. The example is you keep connecting people, because what that's doing for you too, personally, is it's creating greater experience, greater courage, and greater success as you figure out the best way for you to successfully connect people every time to DuePoint. Thousands of others have succeeded at DuePoint. Thousands upon thousands across the country. You can never say DuePoint doesn't work. No, you can never. It's an easy line for people who want you to come to other things to say. It's an easy line for them to do it. It takes nothing for them to say, DuePoint, I tried it, but it doesn't work. This one's much easier. The reality is the much easier one creates nothing for you. It takes your money and you never get anything. At DuePoint, we've always said, work hard, commit to the process, practice, improve, build your confidence, and over time, you will build something that will last forever. Something that will change all of your economic circumstances. Something that will buy for you your dreams. Nothing in South Africa does that today. So do the work. So we talk about, ladies and gentlemen, as a lead wealth engineer, the person who's connecting people onto their first point. You need to lead with words and actions. We want you earning, and we want you to get your first pointers to earn so they stay and pay, growing your income with us at DuePoint. Qualifying first pointers is absolutely critical. If you're going to qualify the guys you connect, they're going to earn. You join DuePoint to earn, they join DuePoint to earn. So set that example, because once you're earning, they're going to start getting interested. The moment they see you getting stuff, they're going to be interested, and they want to earn, so ensure that they do. How do you ensure that someone you've connected earns so that they stay and pay? Well, you do the same thing as you've just learned a few minutes ago. You connect the individual, you make sure that they've connected 3 individuals, and that all of them pay in the same month. If they do that, you've now got an earning first pointer. If they then copy that with their people, then their people will connect 3 people, make sure they've paid, and they'll start earning. And all of a sudden, you've created a culture in your channel of people who stay and pay. Why? Because they understand the one thing you have to do to earn at DuePoint, which is qualify to earn. Pay your product, have 3 people who pay their product in the same month, and you're earning. Do that, and you will demonstrate to your guys that this business creates that permanent income for you. Demonstrate connection every single day. This is something I've said for decades, and it's something wealth engineers simply don't do. Well, not all of them. And so I have individuals who succeed at DuePoint, who get everything. And when I talk to them and I say, what do? They say, I do DuePoint every single day, Monday to Sunday. There's never a day off that I'm not doing DuePoint. Then I talk to the people who are not earning or not succeeding. And I say to them, what are you doing? They go, I don't know. I'm trying so hard. It just doesn't work. And I go, okay, well, tell me about your day. And they go, well, most of my days I'm doing this and this and this. And then on Wednesdays I do DuePoint, like after, I get home from work. And then sometimes on a Saturday I'll do a bit of DuePoint. And I look at them and I go, okay, so you're not really connecting people to DuePoint other than maybe an hour or 2 in the week, but you're asking why your channel is not growing. Well, your channel is following your example. They're doing exactly what you do. Because you only do Wednesday and Saturday, they only do Wednesday and Saturday. Because you're not earning or qualified, well, they don't get qualified. They don't earn. Your demonstration of connection has to happen every day. It has to happen. I'm speaking only to those of you who want a better future. Some of you are happy in poverty. You are. I don't know why, but I speak to them on a daily basis, and I know many of my wealth engineers speak to them on a daily basis. Those people who are happy with poverty often run to the easy things. You know, the big shiny things. Come here, we give you this, you get to this, you did it, and then 6 months later they're gone. Because those were easy. They made easy promises. But we find, when we demonstrate the hard work, we find the other people who do the hard work. And we build for ourselves lifetime assets of recurring income. Income that's there every month. Not income that's there when you sell the face cream, or when you sell the tea bags, or the coffee beans, or the plastic buckies. Not that income that's just there once and then gone. When you've demonstrated connection every day at DuePoint, you build for yourself and for your channel an asset that pays you every single month going forward, no matter what happens in that month to you. Whether you take a holiday, whether you're sick, whether you're in hospital, the money comes in every single month. Nothing in South Africa today is as powerful as the DuePoint wealth creation system. Nothing. And we can say that after being around for 10 years. You may be watching this in our 12th year, or our 13th or our 15th year. You may well still be watching this, and you'll know that for another half a decade, we have been building asset-based recurring income for South Africans. Are you one of those people that is going to do the work to create an earning right now, to start earning right now through your words and your actions with DuePoint? Your words to everybody that you connect going forward is get qualified. Get qualified. When they say, what does that mean? You explain the concept to them. You say, you've got to pay for your product or service, and you need 3 people on your first point who've paid for their product or service in the same month as you. Explain that. That's the one simple thing you've got to do. Explain that to them. Then connect people properly to DuePoint. When you connect them in, you make sure they've seen a full-length intro, they've downloaded the app, they've done the training, and you have seen them face-to-face, whether it's through a screen or whether it's in person. Then you've connected. When you talk to those people you've connected, explain that concept to them. You've explained what qualifying means. Now you explain what connecting means. Okay, you need to connect 3 people now in order to start earning. What does that mean? It means that you need to find the person, explain properly, get their questions answered, and have them watch a full-length introduction presentation. Once that's done, sign them up, get the app on their phone, get them watching the training. Now you've got connected people. Explain the concepts to people you connect. No pumping and dumping. It does not work. People will fall off then. They will not stay and pay. And you want people that stay and pay at DuePoint. Through your actions, demonstrate example. Everything. Get yourself qualified first. If you haven't been earning at DuePoint, get qualified now. Right now. Don't worry about anything else. You connect and connect and connect until you're qualified to earn. By setting that example, everyone that you've connected will start doing the same thing. Have you watched the training? If you haven't, why not? It's on your app under Getting Started, under Tools. Click Tools. Watch the training. Watch the basic series. This particular training will be at the top of the basic series. Make sure you've watched the training. Have you asked the questions? Before this evening, did you know what it meant to be qualified? When people were talking about getting qualified, did you put your hand up and go, what does that mean? And get the answer to it. You too can call client service at any stage and get answers to your question. You can watch the training 24 hours a day and get answers to your questions. Once you've done that, your actions demonstrate to your team what needs to be done in order to succeed, ladies and gentlemen. Success comes through example. And then teach this to your first pointers. The people you've connected that are now your channel, teach them that they too must set the example. If they want to earn and succeed at DuePoint, they must start by setting the example themselves. Can you see how I keep repeating the same thing? It is a simple, well-documented, and well-achieved process to earn at DuePoint. Thousands of South Africans have done it, and we want to get you in the same position. We want to get you earning as well. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that simple. It's that simple. I'm not even going into further details on this. We'll have follow-up development seminars on the rest. This is your step one. This is your step one. For all of you watching tonight and for those in your channel that will watch this later, because I'm hoping you'll share it with them, make sure you get qualified. Make sure you start earning. And by setting that example, you'll set your channels on fire. They'll all start doing the same thing. And suddenly, you'll be ranking up. You'll be getting achievers checks. You'll be going on the holidays. You'll be getting the recognition. But most importantly, every month you'll be getting paid from a business that has paid every single month for a decade, ladies and gentlemen. Not for 6 months, not for a year, not for 2 years, for a decade. Anything and everything else out there that tells you that they can match that is lying to you. It's lying. There's simply a clock on them taking your money. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, do what's required to start earning at DuePoint. Good luck. Have fun with it. You're meant to enjoy the process. We want to reward you through the whole thing, ladies and gentlemen. We want to reward you the whole way. Good luck. We'll see you out there.